Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Daily Trudge. Lord knows I've been trudging the last 24 hours. Hope your day's going well. It's Wednesday. So happy Wednesday. Happy Sober Wednesday to you. Not even sure what I'm going to talk about. Or I do kind of. I just know that some of my friends have been concerned on what's going on with me. And yesterday I was pretty angry. Good thing is, I'm not as angry as I used to get. Been a long time since I got that angry. It was just, it's just life. Looks like chat isn't working, just so you know. So I am going to switch between this and chat. Hi, Amber. Good to see you. I had a feeling that it was probably you. I'm going to start out with some good stuff. No. Well, number one, my wife's okay. She's all right. It was just kind of she had an endoscopy and she ended up with an infection. So she had they had to go in and but she's feeling better now. She's going to be down for a couple days, but she's not, in pain with every single, part of the problem, she couldn't get comfortable. So she couldn't, she wasn't getting any rest. Pain was unbearable. Her white blood count was through the roof. All right. So a lot of antibiotics. I can pick her up at 5:30. So it's hard for me to hang out at hospitals. It brings back a lot of trauma for Dion. So I do the best that I can. So let's do introductions. Welcome to Daily Trudge. I'm Dion. I'm your host. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. I had a few friends that reached out, make sure I was okay. I appreciated that, even though there was no point in talking about it. I had to let it sift through me, and I just utilized, delayed gratification. But when my anger and my depression mix, it creates a really weird world for me. Comments are off. I see your comments. All you've said is yo so far. There we go. I put a 100%. Did that show up? All right. Well, Amber, if you want to reply and you do it by text, that's fine with me too, because I know that you like to support me and I appreciate it. The other good news, I just got off the phone with pretty much the guy that's doing the detox and things like that, and he gave me. I really, really like this guy a lot. He's like, no, I really need to talk to you. Let's talk again tomorrow at 9:30. He wants to hear what I have to say. It also turns out that we know a few mutual people. He's very transparent. He doesn't hold back. He's not passive aggressive with me, things like that. And I can appreciate that. So we're going to talk again tomorrow. I'm willing to get up a little bit earlier, to do that. It's at 9:30. I usually don't get up till about 10, but I'm willing to get up at 8 o'clock. It's worth it to me. But I found he gave me some other information which really helped me out. That there's a couple of detoxes, and here's another set of good news. West Pines, um, they made a really bold move, and I'm really proud of them. Um, they are putting a couple other detoxes, but they understand something, and they're not government. So we're going to be able to work on those 12 step calls a little bit more and things like that. So um, not, but you probably heard me complain about the treatment centers sometimes combining alcoholism, addiction, and mental health, and that's just a dangerous thing to do. And what they've done is they've separated it. They've gotten a couple other buildings, so you'll be in the area with the people that you need to be, and that is it's a huge thing. It is that in and of itself will enable us to help more people, and that's what we're going off of here. But Levon listened to my he listened to my fears, my concerns about what's going on. But one of the things that I told him was, we're out here working with and I actually pulled a line straight from the doctor's opinion. And he may even know, he kind of sounds like he's in the program. He's been in this field for as long as I have. Probably longer. But I told him, we're the ones out here working with the despairing wives, with the crying children, the homelessness, the death. We're the ones dealing with it. Um, I sent a message to Adams County, and I said, we're willing to come out there and teach your employees what AA is about. And what they did, and I sent them some information. It's a little thing that the professionals committee send out. And I sent them that. They're going to add that to the bundle to help with alcohol use disorder, but they turned down free education, and I brought that up to Levon, and we're going to change that. We're gonna change. Well, I can't be. That's a pretty bold statement. I'm hoping that we can change it. Alcoholics Anonymous helps more alcoholics than all other programs combined. It is not the only way, but it is the best way for me anyway. It is the number one way. Actually, I'm going to rephrase that. God is the number one way. A higher power is the number one way, despite what anybody thinks. Millions of alcoholics aren't wrong. So, some of you know that I haven't been in the best mood, but like I was saying, when my anger and my depression combine, you just get a very weird Dion. Okay, so it's for me, it's just life on life terms. It's been one thing after another, and all of us had to do, not all of it, but most of it has to do with money. We're my wife and I, we're owed tens of thousands of dollars right now, and it keeps getting put off, not by circumstance, just waiting for a home. And I'm not going to go into the whole story. You don't need to know the whole story. When I have a shit ton of empathy. So when my wife is in pain, I'm in pain, right? And she was in so much pain yesterday that we got into our first fight in a long time, right? We're working through it. Didn't last very long, right? And I was frustrated because she wasn't letting me help her. She was just in a lot of pain. I'm the person she loves the most, so she's gonna take it out on me. I mean, that's human. That's just being human. All right, but nobody's breaking up. Nobody's going. It isn't that bad. Um, that's the first fight we've been in a very, very long time, right? For anybody joining, if you are on YouTube, chat doesn't seem to be working. You are more than welcome to make the comments there, and I'll switch back and forth. But Amber was saying the comments weren't working. So Restream's had a hard time with YouTube lately. And I would actually give up Restream and just use YouTube, but Restream lets me create these clips and I'm used to it and I have a studio and I can read because I don't get that many people from Facebook. Well, they don't join the lives. The Daily Trudge on Facebook um, gets about 300 watches a month, which isn't bad. You know, it's helping people. But sometimes I get frustrated. Well, I think the easiest way to describe it is this. Sometimes my PTSD flares up a little bit, right? And when that happens, here's the thing. A lot of people have been determining my emotions lately. And it's always about the anger that I'm not allowed to be angry. People just don't allow me to have my anger. Well, you call somebody stupid for long enough, they start to believe it. And as for myself, I feel like I have made a lot of progress. A lot of progress. I have a lot of patience. I put up with a lot of bullshit so I can help people. So I do it. I, it's also not very healthy for me to be angry. You know, that shit leads to heart attacks. And I'm not gonna scream and yell here. I see no need. You know, um, where do some of my frustrations come from? Well, um, it's like I put out, and don't take it wrong because if you think I don't notice the people helping me, like somebody took over hosting yesterday for me, the group they didn't cover my ass, but the good thing that came out of this is we now know Dion is not needed there in order for that to be a great meeting. And I'm going to tell you, that's relieving for me. It's relieving. It's a weight off my shoulders to know that, if I gave somebody the login and the password, that the meeting would continue on even if Dion couldn't go anymore. And that is progress. That's a good thing. Right. So I don't want to sit here and say that, I'm a man and nobody helps me out and things like that. There are some times when I do get frustrated because I feel like I'm asking for help. I'm being very clear on the help that I need. And then people start handing me advice. That's when I get a little, and it's my own stuff, you know. So I'm looking for a house so that we can start this recovery home, and I'm having a hard time getting motivated and getting started on it. So I put a post out about asking for some help. One of my friends reposted it. Thank you, Melanie, for doing that. But then the questions come up. Well, did you do this? Did you do that? Well, yes, I did. I'm not fucking stupid. That's what goes through my mind. So he's like, well, you might have a problem with zoning. No shit. You that wasn't the question. The question is, does anybody know how I can go about this? What is the best way to do it? That's the question, and nobody wants. Somebody else, it wasn't even on topic. My a good friend of mine, but he's not in the program either, so he hasn't. I don't think he quite understood what I was talking about. And sometimes I feel like I'm pretty clear on what I'm needing, and people just, it's like I appreciate the comments, but when it's, so what would I'm going to tell you something. I came home earlier and there's one house that's smaller than mine down the street. It's got 4 trash cans. So don't talk to me about zoning. And there's more than one set of 4 trash cans, okay? It means that several people are living there. Great, so what? So what? So because I'm doing it the right way, I have to follow that rule. I don't follow all the rules. So I don't take government money. I can't follow their rules. right? Or they wouldn't give me the money again. And not only that, but if, let's say, you take a grant from them and you don't follow the rules, they're going to want that grant money back. Seeing it? Well, it's all spent, you know? So the main thing is this. I'm tired of being fucking different. I'm tired of having to maintain 4 mental illnesses. Yeah, they added on ADHD, but I've been working. I think my ADHD is a combination of my anxiety, my depression, my alcoholism. It's unregulated emotion, is what it is to me. Um, and the part of it is I'm still reeling from what the Adderall kind of did to me. Made my heart start going real fast. I was getting sweaty. That kind of put me in a bad mood. But what it did is it lowered all the blocks that I have for my empathy. And it was a rush of fucking feelings for days on end. It was torture. I got a lot more done. I was able to focus. I didn't have to get up from the television a bunch of times while watching TV. That was nice. But then I had this full range of emotions going on. And I'm tired of regulating. I'm tired of maintaining it. I'd like a little break from it. But there is no break. Okay? It makes me feel very separated from everybody else. No, it's not anything anybody's doing. But I feel like sometimes, I'll speak my truth or I'll say what's going on, and whomever I'm talking to thinks it's them, and that does not help me out any. That doesn't help me out. If I have a problem with you directly, you know what I'm going to do? And it needs to be said. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to talk to you directly. I'm Gen X, man. Okay. I don't. You know how many times I met somebody after school at the playground to settle our differences? Okay. I don't have a problem with confrontation. It's just sometimes I don't keep my damn mouth shut. That tends to be a little problem of mine. All right. But so, a lot of this is weird, new, different for me. I feel like a horrible husband because I can't sit there and hang out at the hospital. And my wife doesn't require me of it, and it doesn't change anything. But when I'm there, to me, I'm just 14 years old again, and my parents are put me in Mount Airy Psychiatric Center, and there's no way to escape. I'm being held prisoner there, not of my, against my own will for something that, and I didn't do anything illegal. It just takes me right back to that place. And I've done my EMDR. I can handle it for a little bit, but no, it's very, very hard for me to do. I take a lot of slack because I'm unable to work because I can't make up my mind. My wife gets a lot of bullshit from people. Why doesn't your husband work? There's I have the I do not need to defend myself against your naiveness. No. And if you want to know, quit asking my wife. Come ask me. Well, but people are too. A lot of times, people are just too scared to approach me, and that's what I don't understand. I have worked very, very hard on my tone, my inflections, how I say things, very, very hard. And when people don't recognize that and they continue to say that I'm angry when I am not, then in my mind, the next step is I'm going to show you how really fucking angry I can get. And then you will realize how much I pull it back. I do. No. Oh, Dion doesn't have patience. He doesn't have this. I sacrifice almost everything to do what I do. I I could be out there doing a lot of different other stuff, you know. And no, I'm not. There's no closing it down. Daily Trudge isn't going away. Things like that. Well, they might. Hi, sweetie. Kira says, and so people know in the chat, it's not working, but I am going over to YouTube every now and again to check it. So Kira says CPTSD is a real thing. It's not easy to deal with. No, it is not. You're absolutely correct. CPTSD is complex, and it's usually for people. It's usually the people that it is a long sustained abuse. Okay, and between my mother's alcoholism, which she got help for, and yes, I'm very very proud of her, and the man who's raised me anger towards me and putting me away. And I've just, all my life, I have been different. And I am tired. Sometimes I just get tired of it. You know, I wasn't the best dad. I'm trying to be a better dad. I don't feel like I'm doing a very good job of it. You know, I'm sure everybody, I'm telling you. So I'm telling you my feelings, and I know that feelings aren't fact. So, yeah. So I know that, this shit turns into self-pity, things like that, you know, because all my kids have told me how proud lately in the last few months, they've all told me how proud of me they are. So I know that's just my old thinking trying to fuck with me. Yeah. And do the daily trudge this morning. I didn't think it would be appropriate at the time. Not only that, but it was more important I got to the hospital and made sure that my wife was okay. And they did a great job up there. I'm going to give another shout out. St. Anthony's North, the one when they were off 84th, sucky, suck. The new one, they're fantastic. They did a really good job. They did, considering everything that's going on. The staff is very patient. They actually answer your questions. The doctor gave us a lot more information on what was going on with Kaiser, right? So stay away from Good Sam's right now. They're going through a bunch of changes, and the staff are they're piss poor. So 144th and I-25. There you go. There's my plug in West Pines. So there's my two plugs, right? Because not everything is bad. You know, I get, that was part of the other thing that the Adderall did to me. Since I could now see everything, I saw everything. And it overwhelmed me. It was too much. Like the little shit that needs to get done around the house, right? That I didn't get to because of my ADHD, And I got a lot of little things done, which was nice, but it felt never ending, because it'd been a while. So, not sure what we're going to do about that. My psychiatrist hasn't written me back yet. Looks like I might lose my Medicaid again. No money coming in. I feel bad because I didn't have enough money to buy my stepdaughter a birthday present. Um, and that's just, I know it's old stuff. So let's go check the chat here for a little bit. Okay. Real quick. But, so, yeah, there's a lot of other things on my mind, but they're just, they're just intrusive thoughts, you know. Um, today I had to go out of my, actually, it was weird because I was going out of my way to not be kind to people. I tried and I failed. I was still kind to everybody. And that's a good sign, even though I don't feel like it. And what does that mean? It means that my kindness is now a natural ability, that I don't have to do something. I don't have to go out of my way. So there's progress, you know. If we can't take progress out of these things, in the moment it fucking sucks. But if we can't find the progress in it, then we can't continue being better people, you know. I don't owe any amends going through it. Well, I owed one. I took care of it. Right? Actually, there were two, but it wasn't really an amends. We were at the hospital and the nurse said something, and I said, "Those stupid motherfuckers." And she like jumped back a little bit. I'm like, no, it was the other place and things like that. I wish I would have seen it, taken care of it. And about a minute later I said, I gotta give something to human factor. I apologize for talking that way in front of you. That wasn't very nice. There you go. I don't feel guilty about it. But that doesn't mean other people should have to deal with my rage. You know, when I'm angry, I try. Actually, what the angrier I am, the more I drive like a grandma. Honestly, I don't rush. I don't rush when I'm angry, because then I'll let somebody piss me off, get into a fight. They're gonna pull out a gun, and I'm dead. I don't start fights in the streets no more, man. I'm too old for that. I'm too old and frail. But I prayed this morning begrudgingly, but I did it. There was a lot of f bombs in it. Still, still did what I usually do. You know, um, but there's a lot of changes that need to be made. You know, because of the way that I see it with some of the situations that you know people take advantage of my wife's good nature, and I'm not willing to put up with it anymore. Mm-mm. You know, um, and they don't even know that they're doing it. It's just kind of who they are. But the thing is, we go through things, and sometimes I just don't feel like people think of me. Think, well, is Dion going to be okay with it? They're like, oh, Dion, he's okay with everything, and oh, we'll just leave that. Dion will get it. Don't worry about it. Dion will get it. Drives me fucking crazy. You know. I was going to give an example, but I feel like it'd just be more shit talking than anything else. I'm not going to use that example. Um, so things will get better. Things will get better. I do need somebody to take over. I can open the meeting, but I have to leave right at 5 o'clock to go pick up Shannon. So I can be in the meeting, but I cannot host because I do not have signal. Do we even have? I don't even know that we have a. Yeah, we do. I think we do have a chairperson for today. You know, on the other side of all this, now that I know what West Pines is doing, they're putting in 2 new detoxes. So we may not need the Adams County detox if they're going to do it right. So what I'm going to do tomorrow is going to reach out to them. I've been waiting for their outreach person to get a hold of me, and see what we can put together. Maybe they'll let us come down to the detox and run the grassroots meeting. We'll be able to do in-person 12-step calls. We'll be able to, because they're doing it right, which means that if we set up an AA meeting for their treatment, maybe we could have a speaker meeting on Saturday nights and have people, have the public show up. And, because what we do is all about community. It is all about community. Once we get out of the community aspect, it disappears, right? Out of all the governments that are trying to do something, Adams County is the only one I really know that is standing up and saying we're making mistakes here, here, and here. Kira says we have a full moon in Sagittarius today. I'll send you what it means. There's a lot of high emotion and rebellion energy. Well, yeah, we can see that with everybody running around setting things on fire. That makes no sense to me. And since it's just us here, this is what I'm going to say because I need to get it off my mind. If you are more concerned about the people bringing fentanyl into our communities and killing your children than the children yourself, fuck off. What I gotta say on it. If you are willing to defend murderers over your own children, something's wrong. Looking for, we can't go around looking for fights. 2 days ago, Shan and I were watching the stuff going on in LA, and I'm like, we're next. And it's going to happen within the next 2 days. And here we are. They found a person dead in LA from the riots. There's been more deaths because of these protests than from the ICE raids. So don't run around and tell me how much you care about human life when your actions sit there and tell me something entirely different. Well, I need to get that off my chest. That's what we would call a 10th step. Now, after that, none of my business. Oh, that reminds me. I was talking to Levi. He's like, one of the places we're trying to go to is we're trying to get the opiate money through the Attorney General. And boy, did I have information for him on that. He's like, what? And that's why he wants to talk again tomorrow. He's like, I mean, the call went so well. People don't usually follow up with me like that pretty quick unless their intentions are good, especially with me. I can appreciate it when I find people that I don't scare. Honestly, because, 2 of them are here right now. I tell you that right now. 2 of them are here now because Amber and Kira, who's my daughter, do not fear me. They've even said, you don't scare me. You don't scare me. It's just the voice. Trust me, my bark is worse than my bite. It is. My bark is worse than my bite. People are usually amazed when they have to tell me something and it's kind of uncomfortable, and then they talk to me about only to find out that I'm going to be proactive and support what they're doing, whether I agree with it or not. I just want what's best for you, but I'm going to do that according to what you need, to what you want. Yeah. Even if it's if I'm doing something wrong to somebody and I don't know, and you bring it to my attention, I'm going to be thankful that you told me. God forbid you try and make me a better person. That is not going to piss me off. That's actually going to make me like you more. So that's why I want, I don't know what else I can do to be more approachable, short of, kicking myself in the nuts to raise my voice. Right? All right. All right. Well, I got to get the meeting set up. and stuff, so that it can be ready to go and stuff. And I'll see most of you there. And that's just, yeah, friend reaching out. It's Daryl saying, if you need to talk, if you need to vent. I didn't really feel the need to vent. What I had to do was just be quiet for about 12 hours. But that's what I do. I don't get on the internet. I don't, I haven't really been on social media today. So, but, I may be going through this, but there's still a lot of really great and cool things coming up. And, I am glad that Levon was so open-minded and understanding. I told him a little bit about me. He's like, "Oh yeah, yeah." I think what got him was I used to work for Arapahoe House when I was 20. He's like, "Oh, do you know Gene? And do you know?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I know." And I'm like, "Joe Wright was my mother's sponsor." He's like, "Really?" Like, yep. So now he knows. Like when I brought up, I said, what we need to do, and this is how it used to work, is we need recovered alcoholics and addicts working at the detoxes, and all those people with bachelor's degree need to be at the treatment centers because they will thrive there. So our job is to help them, make them willing, and then we have a treatment center, so maybe we can use West Pines for this because they made those changes. But if I wouldn't have made a comment kind of confronting them on how they were doing things, then a person wouldn't have been able to reply and say, "We saw that and changed it." Booyah. There we go. So if I wouldn't have said anything, I wouldn't have known. Not all confrontation is bad if we are looking for the solution. And that's the key. All right. So if you'd like to host, and anybody can host the meeting, you just got to make sure that your internet doesn't drop. Everything else is set up, and let people in. That's all the host. If you want to do the timer, great. So it's actually hosting is actually easier than sharing, I think. So, all right. Well, thank you everybody for being here. I don't really want to go the day without seeing some of my friends. So, thank you everybody. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out. Oh, Daryl, I saw your comment. It's not coming up here. So I did see your comment. It's good to see you, brother. So peace out. And